Hey brick fanatics, today we are punching that hyperdrive and heading to a galaxy far, far away as we take a look at 3 of the latest LEGO Star Wars sets to be added to the super stylish Star Wars Helmet collection. There's 2 entries from the massively popular television series The Mandalorian, the menacing Dark Trooper and titular hero Din Djarin's headpiece. And representing the rebellion for the first time is Luke's legendary X-Wing pilot headgear. With 5 excellent sets already released, how will these 3 stack up? Well, let's waste no time in finding out, starting with 75327, Luke Skywalker's Red 5 helmet. LEGO for Adults has enjoyed immense success since it launched back in early 2020, and the first sets to feature the 18+ branding and black box artwork were the original 3 LEGO Star Wars helmets. Although we've seen a number of iconic characters such as Darth Vader and Boba Fett, as well as a number of Imperial troopers, we've yet to see any characters from the light side. Well, the balance in the Force has been somewhat readdressed in this latest wave, with the release of Luke's X-Wing helmet, a unique entry to the sub-theme in more ways than one. The LEGO group have attempted open-face busts before in the guise of 76182 Batman cowl and 76238 classic TV series Batman cowl, both of which received fairly mixed reviews. But will this set fall foul of the same design issues that plagued the Dark Knight's models, or will we find that the Force is strong with this one? For those with experience building previous Star Wars helmets, this build begins in familiar fashion with the construction of the stylish black plinth upon which the helmet is placed upon, the inner core to which the helmet's detail is eventually added, and the stacked plate techniques that create the curved shaping that makes up the top and back. The build begins to feel more unique with the additions of the front visor and front headpiece, connected from front to back using yellow hose pipes. This not only helps to anchor the front of the helmet to the rest of the build, but also achieves an excellent piece of detailing, recreating the yellow stripes that run down either side. The visor itself is built using 2 4x1x2 trans orange curved slopes that connect to the front via an upside down connection. It's an interesting technique which looks okay, but a single shape rather than these 2 separate pieces would have perhaps looked a little bit more authentic. While the set captures the authenticity and accuracy of the on-screen helmet to a very decent degree, the ridge at the top is perhaps a little small compared to its on-screen counterpart. And while it's a very valiant attempt, the trans-orange goggles just don't quite work. Overall, it's an enjoyable build, but one that feels incredibly short, with the whole thing coming together with relative ease and in a relatively short amount of time. Compared to what's come before, the build just doesn't feel that involved. And despite the decent looking final model, as a whole, this set, unlike Luke, just slightly misses the target. Saying that though, as the first attempt at an open-face helmet within the Star Wars universe, 75327 Luke Skywalker Red 5 helmet is a success and certainly paves the way for more helmets of this style in the future. The next 2 sets from this wave are both from the uber popular TV series The Mandalorian, the best thing to happen to Star Wars since Rian Johnson's trilogy plans were canned. Sorry Ryan, but no one wants their expectations subverted, okay? First up, let's take a look at 75343 Dark Trooper helmet. Arguably one of the Empire's most menacing creations, the Dark Trooper makes their LEGO Star Wars helmet debut. But is this an iconic enough entry to hold its own against some of the galaxy's more memorable characters? Introduced during the 2nd season of The Mandalorian, the Dark Trooper is a terrifying new breed of Imperial trooper. Gone have the humans inside suits of very penetrable armour, and in their place are highly advanced droids built for nothing other than death and destruction. But fans would be forgiven if their initial impressions from looking at the box art were of a helmet that looks a little off. The head looks somewhat squashed, and the features just don't look that accurate. But as we know, sometimes box art can be very deceiving, and in this instance, this set is a prime example of that quirk. Unusually, the build begins by constructing the Dark Trooper's face, a first for the Star Wars Helmet series. The Trooper's menacing red eyes and striking angular facial details are some of the very first things to be built. The rest of the build requires quite a high level of concentration, and this is in part down to the predominantly black colour scheme, and in part down to the intricate nature of the build itself. But it pays off, as there's some really interesting and unusual sub-assemblies that make up the majority of the detailing. The back neck piece is a really neat sub-assembly, constructed upside down before being attached to the underside of the helmet. The front nose section is also incredibly detailed and a very involved section of the build, taking up an entire bag to complete. The Trooper's angular details mixed with smooth lines have been authentically recreated throughout, and the bottom half in particular has a very strong design. While the lower section consists of studless elements such as tiles and curved slopes, the top leaves the majority of the studs exposed. A smooth dome would have perhaps looked better, but this aesthetic at least ties in with the rest of the helmets in the theme, and as such is an understandable design choice. The helmet is built onto a hinged plinth, a first for the sub-theme, and as a result allows two ways to display the model, either with its head resting back, or menacingly tilted forward in the Trooper's attack mode. Ugh. Overall, any concerns of the final look of the model will be gone by the time it's finished. It looks authentically menacing and fairly accurate to the on-screen troopers. While the Dark Trooper may not be as instantly recognisable to casual fans as the more memorable characters from a galaxy far, far away, 75343 Dark Trooper Helmet still offers up enough to make this a worthy addition to the collection. The build is highly entertaining, with enough unique techniques that even seasoned helmet builders will be surprised. It's deep and involved and requires concentration to finish, a grown-up model worthy of its LEGO for Adults tag. Completing this latest Star Wars trilogy is a hero who's earned legendary status in a relatively short amount of time: the Mandalorian Djarin. The Mandalorian is such a popular series that it wasn't a case of if the Mandalorian's helmet would be released, but when. However, having already had one Mandalorian bust released to fans, Boba Fett's, will there be enough originality within Din Djarin's design, or will fans feel like they're just retreading old ground with a slightly different colour scheme? A Mandalorian's helmet is undoubtedly one of the coolest looking headpieces in the entire Star Wars universe. Boba Fett's iconic look has captured the imagination of Star Wars fans for over 4 decades, and thanks to TV series such as The Clone Wars, Rebels, and of course The Mandalorian, their popularity is in no danger of waning. Fans will no doubt clamour to add this to their collection, and will probably be pleasantly surprised to find there's enough distinctions between Din Djarin's and Boba Fett's headpieces respectively to make both feel like completely individual designs. The initial stages feel a lot more involved and intricate than what's come before, and for those who have built Boba Fett's helmet, it does a great job in separating the two builds right from the start. Constructing the top of the head also feels very different. Layered plates are once again used to create the curved structure, as is the case with all LEGO Star Wars helmets, but the central ridge that runs right across the cranium is a unique design. Rather than a few large curved slopes, it's made up of a number of smaller sub-assemblies, mixing 1x3 curved slopes and 2x2 tiles. Perhaps the biggest departure from Boba Fett's helmet are these beautiful silver drum lacquered pieces that are spread throughout the set. They really contrast well against the light grey, making certain features pop, and they add a wonderful final aesthetic to the finished model. Drum lacquered parts were put to extraordinary effect on 76191 Infinity Gauntlet, and once again they elevate what could be a good looking model into a fantastic looking one. Although it does feel like more could have been spread across the design, especially when compared to the abundance that feature on Thanos' famous glove. Once complete, any fears of this set being a simple carbon copy of Boba Fett's helmet disappear. There are some similarities, but it feels bulkier and wider compared to Boba Fett's, as it also does on screen, and overall, it's another excellent addition to the Star Wars helmet collection. The final model is accurate with a decent level of authenticity, capturing the unmistakable essence of Din Djarin himself. However, it does feel a little bit like a missed opportunity by the LEGO Group to have produced something extraordinary by including more of the silver drum lacquered pieces throughout this set. Yes, it would have bumped up the price considerably, but I'm sure it's one that fans would have been willing to pay. That being said, the build is incredibly enjoyable, culminating in an excellent rendition of the Mandalorian's iconic headpiece. Overall, all three sets are brilliant additions to the LEGO Star Wars Helmet collection, and all three would look brilliant on display either on their own or with any number of the other sets that have already been released. And there you have it. Please support the work that Brick Fanatics does, like bringing you this review, by purchasing your copies of the brand new LEGO Star Wars helmets using our affiliate links, which I'm sure are probably down below. And remember, for all your LEGO news, reviews and more, head over to brickfanatics.com now. Even better, sign up to the newsletter so you never, ever miss anything LEGO related ever again. See you next time.